after an almost 9-month hiatus, I'm finally back in action, ladies and gentlemen. I am so sorry for the long wait. There's just been so much going on over here. And to those who were expecting the Metal Gear Solid review, I'm sorry, I ran into a lot of technical difficulties which caused me to have to skip it for the time being, but I do appreciate your guys' understanding. Gears of War is a game that I have an absurd amount of memories with. I played this game so much that my total playtime was right up there with the likes of Halo 2 and Sonic Adventure 2. It's evolved into a big selling franchise that's had its ups and its downs. So here's the question. Does this game still hold up today even though it's nearly 10 years old? Let's find out. For the sake of good picture clarity, I'm going to be using the Ultimate Edition port for the Xbox One. It's an HD remake of the original for the Xbox 360. I do want to mention that the original's graphics are already really good, and this game looks even better on the Xbox One. Gears of War started off as a game into humanity's world for reasons that aren't explained in this game. That was always something I had a bit of a problem with, but later titles explained it, so I'll be easy on it. The story takes place 14 years after what is known as Emergence Day, and we are taken to a prison where Marcus Phoenix is being held captive. His old friend and combat buddy Dominic Santiago busts him out of jail saying that the circumstances have changed and the Coalition of Border Governments, or the COG, need his help to stop the locusts and end the war once and for all. So why is Marcus so vital to this? That's a good question. All we see here is, "Hey man, we need your help to stop the locust." Okay. In order to do this, Marcus and Delta Squad must travel underground to the locust home and plant a resonator to wipe them out for good. Delta Squad eventually succeeds in their mission, but find out later that the resonator only took care of a small fraction of the locusts. After realizing this, Damon Baird, another member of Delta, discovers a large map of all the locust tunnels in existence. With this knowledge, Delta Squad sets off to Phoenix's father's estate. He was an athlete who played for a sport known as thrashball, and his nickname was the Coal Train. You get it? He's huge, like a train, and his name is Cole. I bet you thought it was because he was black. You racist. Sure, there's novels and more games down the line that explain all that, but put yourself in the shoes of a person who hasn't read the novels, and this is the only game that you can get. It just leaves too many unanswered questions, and I feel like the story suffers because of it. Despite all that, though, I think the gameplay more than makes up for what the campaign lacked. It's a pretty standard third-person shooter, and it only brings a few new things to the table. So what makes the game so fun? Really, I'd have to say it's the violence and how intense and immersive the game really is. While you're playing through it, you look around and you see this world completely devastated by total war. Mangled soldier corpses everywhere, anti-government activists, homeless people, and of course, cities annihilated by weapons of mass destruction. It's all very cool to look at, and it makes you feel bad. Multiplayer is without a doubt one of the main selling points of this franchise. The gameplay works just as it does in single player, and here's where you have to fine-tune your skills to achieve victory. It's all about 4 vs 4 team-based multiplayer. Sure, like any other games, one person could potentially carry the entire team to victory, but there are plenty of times where staying together and working as a team are very important. Considering that I'm playing the Ultimate Edition of the game, there are multiple game types for you to choose from, all of them in which are a lot of fun, but most popular would have to be Team Deathmatch. You control as either the COG or the Locust, and you don't always get to pick which one. So if you have luck like mine, you're always playing as a Locust, which really isn't a big deal, but there have been times where I'm like, okay dude, can I please play as the good guys for a change? Then of course you have to deal with people like this.
Go get wrecked, get wrecked, oh my god, get wrecked, buddy, get wrecked.
Mind you, this is something you have to deal with on any online game, but it's always fun to hear people trash talk one another for no reason.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. If I get mine to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em, it's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend. In a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch us. Our hearts so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon.
Pokemon Honest Opinion! One where I legitimately caught them all. with the help of Pokemon Stadium and 2 transfer packs, of course. Back in February of 1996, Japanese gamers were treated to Pokemon Red and Green. Although it wasn't really called Pokemon back then, it was called Pocket Monsters. Yeah, I got a Pocket Monster. A blue version was released later that year in October, which at the time was the definitive version of the game. It fixed all the glitches and bugs that were in the original Red and Green. Fast forward to September 1998, and North Americans like myself were treated to Pokemon Red and Blue, which was Japan's blue version released 2 years prior. The same year, Japan saw the release of Pokemon Yellow, which was a special edition where Pikachu was the starter Pokemon, and it follows the cartoon series. But in the end, it's the same game as Blue. October of 1999 is when Yellow version came overseas to North America, and I received this game along with my first Game Boy Color for Christmas that same year. But by the time I got my hands on it, all the other kids were pretty much tired of the game. Keep in mind, Red and Blue had already who you're free to give a name to. According to the comics, the boy's name is actually Red, but I'm gonna name him Biggums. Once you start up the game, you get introduced to Professor Oak, a scientist who prides himself on knowing everything there is to know about Pokemon. It's here you can also give your rival a name. His name is actually Blue according to the comics, but here's what I named him for the review. Just for you, buddy. Once all that's done, you finally take control of Biggums and you begin your journey to become a Pokemon Master. You start off in Pallet Town, which really isn't a town. The only thing here is your house, Solaris' house, and Professor Oak's lab. Wouldn't that be more like a village? I don't know. It kind of bugs me with that name, but oh well. Once Biggums attempts to leave, Oak stops him and tells him it's too dangerous to walk in tall grass without a Pokemon to defend himself. From here he catches a Pikachu that comes out of nowhere, and then escorts you to his lab where Solaris is waiting. Oak tells Biggums to grab the Pokemon that's on the table, but he's pushed out of the way by Solaris. Dick. Solaris grabs the Pokemon for himself, and the City Gym has got to be my least favorite of the 8. Not because it's hard or anything, but you have to search these trash cans for 2 buttons in order to open the gate to face Lieutenant Surge. Simple enough, yes, but what's annoying about it is the fact that if you find one and miss the second one, the first switch you found earlier resets, and now you have to find them both all over again. There's a load of trash cans here, and the button placement is randomized every time. I recall it taking me almost 10 minutes, and maybe even longer than that when I was a kid. Anyway, once you beat Lieutenant Surge, you now get to move on to Celadon City. To get there, you have to pass through Lavender Town. This place is creepy as hell. There's even a theory that you killed Solaris' Raticate when you were battling on board the SSN. How true that is remains to be seen, but if you haven't seen the theory, it's definitely something you should take a look at. But anyway, there's not much that you can do right now. If you go into the Pokemon Tower, all you'll do is encounter real-life ghosts, and your Pokemon can't do The Pokemon with that is that they will most likely run away if you do it. The Safari Zone has some pretty rare Pokemon here that you can't find anywhere else. It's time to commence rant. I hate the Safari Zone. I hate that it's literally luck based on whether or not you can catch a rare Pokemon here. Oh wow, a Scyther! I sure wish I could catch that one. Come on, man! A Kangaskhan. I sure wish I could catch that. Oh, of course not. You ran away like a little Ooh, another one. I'm just gonna throw another ball at it. A Chansey. Maybe if I believe hard enough, I can catch this one. Oh, you son of a... You're slime. Like I said, the Safari Zone has got to be the most annoying area in the game, right up there with the Vermilion City Gym. And it wasn't until this playthrough that I realized... You're now ready to take on the Saffron Gym leader, Sabrina. Her gym is kind of a pain in the ass, but not nearly as bad as Lieutenant Surge's. Once you beat her, you can move on to Cinnabar Island. To get there, you need to travel back to Pallet Town and use one of your Pokemon to surf down to the island. Once you're there, you'll see that the gym is locked and you have to find a key to get it open. The key is located in the Pokemon Mansion just to the left. This place sucks because the floor is a freaking eyesore from hell. Even encountering wild Pokemon is seizure-inducing. After you get the key, you can now enter the gym. This gym I can tolerate because the trainers inside are completely optional. You in a hurry? All you gotta do is answer these pathetically easy Pokemon trivia questions and you won't even need to fight them at all. Although I can't really recommend doing this because you'll be missing out on some good XP to raise your Pokemon with. The gym leader here is Blaine. After you beat him, you have 2 options. You can either go catch some legendary Pokemon like Zapdos and Articuno, or you can move on to the final gym in Viridian City.
Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket, is also the gym leader. Water, electric, grass, ice, fighting, poison, ground, flying, psychic, bug, rock, ghost, and dragon. Yeah, say that 5 times fast. All these types have their strengths and weaknesses. For example, a grass Pokemon is weak to fire, while a fire Pokemon is weak to water, and water is weak to grass. I'm not going to sit here and go over which Pokemon are stronger or weak against the other, or else we'd be here all day. Personally, I like to have one of every type with the exception of normal, grass, bug, ghost, ground, and rock. Some Pokemon have more than one type, like Charizard, who's a flying and a fire type. These kind of Pokemon are especially good to have around. In order to level these guys up, you need to gain experience for them. In order to do that, you need to defeat other Pokemon. Whether you're beating up another trainer's Pokemon or slaughtering random wild ones, any Pokemon you kill,
Or, excuse me, knock out because they faint.
will award your Pokemon that defeated them with experience. Once they gain enough, they'll level up. As they level up, their attribute flashlight. Some of the HMs are actually pretty useful, like Fly or Surf. Not only will they help you get around Kanto, but they're pretty powerful moves as well. Strength, Cut, Flash, they're all just a waste, and I hate that you have to have them. Why can't I use a chainsaw to cut down this tree blocking the gym? Or better yet, why is the tree there at all? And are the people inside the gym trapped there? Did I just save their lives? Why are they trying to kill my Pokemon? I don't understand. And why does a tree grow back so quickly? Strength is also a pretty powerful move as well, but by the time you acquire it, your Pokemon should already have more than enough moves that are capable of taking down foes. So this one's honestly just a burden. Understandably though, a small 11-year-old boy can't move that boulder, so I can say that although it's situational, strength makes sense to have. But I still don't like it. Some Pokemon are capable of evolving into stronger variations of themselves once the right specifications are met. Most of them evolve just at the right level, but hell, when I trade you my Cadaver so you can have it instead.
Yeah, I don't think that was something they should have done, but later games make evolution even more convoluted. So Generation 1, well, it's inconvenient, but it's minor compared to the other ones.
I want to go ahead and come clean with something too. Like any other game, it's not without glitches. I had an easy time playing through this game for the review for 2 reasons right here. I did the level 100 Mew glitch so I could never lose a battle, and I also did the missing no rare candy glitch so I could level up my Pokemon faster. Yeah, I know that's cheating, but in my defense though, I really didn't use Mew that much, and I didn't even get to use the rare candy glitch until I was about halfway through the game. Even after cheating, it still took me over 15 hours to beat the game, and it would have been even longer if I played normally.
All in all though, ladies and gentlemen, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow are great classic games. It got the franchise started, so you have to give it that sort of credit. The thing... Well, dang, I was kind of hoping you guys would have voted for Castlevania, not gonna lie. But it's alright though, the fans have spoken. It's time to review a cult classic, Super Mario Bros. Like I said in the last review, I have never played this game. And come to think of it, I haven't fully completed any classic Mario games. But don't get me wrong, I have experience with Mario games as a whole. My history with Mario begins with Super Mario 64, the plumber's first shot at a 3D title, which is arguably one of his best games. In between, I've played just about every other little spin-off that Mario had to offer, like Mario Kart, Mario Party, and Mario Tennis. All these games I had an absolute blast with, except for Mario Party 1, and I think you all know the reason for that. Later, when I got a GameCube, I played Luigi's Mansion, which, at the time, I thought that was his first independent game. It wasn't until this game has no story or anything like that, and all you do is rack up points and try not to die. It's pretty primitive. 1985 marks the release of Mario's first ever adventure platforming game known as Super Mario Bros. What makes them super? Shrooms. As you saw by this video's title, this is the game that I will be reviewing tonight. I could go into the rest of Mario's history, but I really don't see a need to. Literally everybody and their brother already knows who this guy is, so for me to give another history lesson, I feel like that would come off as, well, redundant. Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, I could go on and on about Mario, but seeing as how that there are literally dozens of games, spin-offs or not, I feel like half of this video would just be me talking about stuff that you already know. For the sake of time, let's stick with the game that officially put Mario and his brother Luigi on the map. So here's the question. Does this game still hold up today, and is it something I could recommend to you? Let's find out. For this review, I will